SVG's Jason Dackman. We are here at New York, New Jersey Stadium for the World Cup final, which is coming up this weekend. And Fox Sports, the English language domestic rights holder, has been all over every single match. It all comes down to this weekend. We're here with Rod Conti. Typically, you would be on site all over the place, but in this case, you were in Pico in LA for a large part of it. So it must feel good to finally be out on site with the studio, right?
I can't tell you, to see the sky and leave that little box for a remote guy being trapped in a room. But yeah, it was a very different experience for us in this World Cup. You know, when we took on this venture and we knew that we wanted to be all across America in this, it was hard and sort of a separation from what we've done in all the other World Cups, to sort of build our sort of central spot behind an iconic background. And once it was built, we just sort of stayed the course for the event.
Yeah.
With this approach, the studio took that honor as the big spot, and then we had to bring America in. And to do that in a country our size, you know, the approach from our executives were to put sort of a set in all across America. So what you see here that we are looking at New York, New Jersey Stadium, is we built 7 of these across the country. We've added a few as the U.S. progressed, a few, oh, by the ways, can we set something up? And the only way we saw operationally to work was if our core operations team was situated in Los Angeles.
Sure.
In basically a windowless room watching this all on video monitors. Very different for a remote crew. At first, that caused a bit of anxiety how we could run that, how we could have our hands on that, only communicating through some comms and some video feeds. But it actually, in hindsight, was the best way to do it. We like to say we were air traffic control. So
yep.
A lot of moving parts. We had great crews, 150 people or so, run by just a couple operations people and tech people that were out at each of these venues that had to move quick, set up fast, not know where they were going until the game's outcome, and sort of playing those chess pieces that we had to do. There was no other way.
Amazing. Yeah, and especially for a team your size to pull something like this off.
Relatively small group, you know, and when we're all together, it's a decent sized group. When you split, you know, those 6 people up that are like in management or staff management on that side, you know, it's a hefty lift.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into what you guys' plans are for the final. Again, we know that there's a set in Brooklyn. There's a set here. Take us through what game day is going to look like for the studio operation.
Yeah, so, you know, this follows like a little bit of our, you know, model for all our big events. We sort of call it follow the fan model. And we have a 3-hour pregame show that's going to start at Brooklyn Bridge Park in association with Adidas, who has a fan fest there. Back to having that iconic shot in our backdrop. We looked at the span of Brooklyn Bridge and Manhattan, sitting over these guys that'll start their day there. Have a good fan presence, bring New York, which is, you know, our nation's capital to some degree,
totally,
right?
Yeah,
like as far as, you know, represented here for the final. And then quickly get the guys back here to MetLife, to outside at the stadium fan experience that you see now, and then inside. In the meantime, we have reporters at the team hotels and everything. So the model's not new. Very similar to sort of a Super Bowl approach on that,
right? But
a lot of moving pieces. Getting that main talent all the way from Brooklyn.
And what will be there? How are they going to do that?
It involves a ferry ride across the Hudson to a helicopter that'll go around the Statue of Liberty, land in Teterboro Airport with a police escort here. So.
Wow. Yeah.
All done in 40 minutes or so, so they could sit out here or sit inside and make that seem seamless to our audience members back home.
Absolutely. So, again, very much not done, and certainly the biggest show yet to come. But reflecting on the last few weeks, how do you feel like it's gone? How did the model of using the brisk system work? How did the idea of, again, sort of delegating to teams throughout while having a central access with you and a couple others in Pico work out? How did it go?
I mean, it went great, actually. You know, like I said, a bit of anxiety at first. But listen, we have great leads. Kevin Callahan, who puts his technical plan together completely in coordination with Greg Pfeiffer on our end, working the brisks out here and everybody that's on the road, taking these 6 systems around the country with these. Each of these sets are built and landed here, but the guts of them, the technical guts of them, are dismantled post-game in every situation and moves to another country. So logistically, you can see that with maybe match day -1 build out, by the time we get back here. So that was a lot of chess pieces to sort of move around. We did have a good mapping of that early on, and despite a few mid-production changes on where we'll go as the U.S. progress and some movement, we would just have to delegate those moves pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So again, strategically, the approach of sort of being nailed down to a seat, driving the talent that's involved, and the large group of people that sit in those offices back there has really moved this, made this work. And what I like to say, seamlessly, despite, a flight here and there and the stuff that happens. But, the guys on the road that handled all these, definitely the unsung heroes on this. There's a lot of sort of waiting. There's a lot of moving around. There's a lot of like, okay, you got to get here, and covering that from camera changes and everything that might come up to a show. Definitely the biggest logistical challenge we've ever had.
Yeah.
Even though the show is in our backyard, so to speak.
Yeah. But again, you don't have a central point. It's all across the country and all across the continent for that matter. So Rod, congrats. And really well done, man. We can't wait to see what you guys have.
Hey, watch. It's going to be an incredible final. It's been an incredible series, and we're just happy to be a part of it. So thank you.
Make sure to check out that starting with the 3-hour pregame show that'll start in Brooklyn and then head out over here. And also stay tuned to all of SVG's coverage of the FIFA World Cup 2026 final at sportsvideo.org, the SVG YouTube channel, and SVG Play.